This week we take you to Mount Irving Bay Resort, which is built around an 18th century sugar mill. It's in close proximity to the A&R Robinson International Airport, the Mount Irving Beach and a few of the island's fine dining restaurants. This week we're going to explore the rich history, grounds and interior along with our lineup of stories. I'm Davia Chambers and Let's Talk Tobago starts now. Initiation of cardiac lab services, details on FOTUS initiatives, and later we take you to the senior citizens computer literacy graduation. These stories and more when Let's Talk Tobago continues. We'll be right back.
As a trained tour guide, I was able to travel the world, educate my children, purchase a new vehicle, teach my children about the natural history of Tobago, and it's there I realized that there's no place like home sweet home. I'm a trained tour guide. My name is Kathy Ann Grant, and tourism is all our thing.
Welcome to Mount Irving Bay Resort. This property stands on 500 acres of Steeltown Estate, which was purchased by Joseph and Richard Steele. The land was previously sold in 1764 for the establishment of sugar plantations, but would later become a coconut plantation in 1898. So our first story has details on a new medical service that can save lives and time. In the past, you would have had to spend time traveling to Trinidad to secure this service, but now we offer it right here at home. Here's more in this report.
Patients of the cardiology clinic at the Scarborough General Hospital no longer have to journey to Trinidad for non-emergency cardiac services. That's because the cardiac catheterization lab at the hospital is now open. The cath lab equipment is making it possible to examine patients with heart-related issues through a simple procedure.
It's like a large X-ray machine in which it focuses on the area where the heart is, and as it's with movement, we actually inject contrast into the coronary arteries. How we get the contrast in coronary arteries is sometimes we run a catheter from the hand up through the shoulder into the heart.
This procedure means a lot more tests can be done at the Scarborough General Hospital. Patients can find out if they have got a congenital heart defect or blocked blood vessels. The machine can also measure the amount of oxygen flowing to the heart. It's already saving lives.
We did two procedures where patients were chosen and they were waiting for coronary angiograms for several months. One was a young guy, he was 29 years old, and he did have severe disease in two of his arteries, which we are preparing to offer him angioplasty to fix the arteries. The other guy was an older gentleman. He was a school teacher, and his coronary arteries did show some problems.
In 2014, heart disease was named the #1 cause of death in Trinidad and Tobago. That statistic underscores the importance of the services offered by the cath lab. Now, conditions that could lead to a heart attack or stroke can be quickly diagnosed. The Tobago Regional Health Authority, TRHA, wants to be able to treat emergency cases in the future too.
We do not have open heart surgery capabilities, so the patients must be selected in a very, very safe manner. So we will not be attempting patients who are immediately super complex. But for what we send to Trinidad for coronary angiograms, we will be doing those patients in Tobago. As the Tobago team becomes very familiar with the equipment, and also we are more comfortable doing this procedure in Tobago, we will then station the team in Tobago to do the more advanced procedures.
Each procedure costs $12,000. It's already been budgeted for by the TRHA to ensure all Tobago residents have access to this service. I'm Caroline Wallace for Let's Talk Tobago.
The Mount Irving Golf Course was the first to be established on the island, and it was built in 1968. The hotel soon followed and formally opened its doors to the public in 1972. Now, do you like drawing cartoons? Do you wish you can make this a career? Then this story is for you. The Eco-Industrial Development Company of Tobago hosted an open house where a few lucky students had the opportunity to acquire animation skills. Omadara Mills has all the details in this report. Have a look.
This is an example of 2D animation, which students of the Roxborough Secondary School got the opportunity to learn about during the Eco-Industrial Development Company of Tobago's Animation Open House. EIDCOT's representatives explain why the company is encouraging the youth to get into animation.
We feel that animation is a viable career path for school leavers. Right? You have training at UTT that takes you up to the diploma. They will be going into the degree and masters in animation. So to the extent that you feel you want to stay at home, because I know a lot of you want to stay home, you don't want to have to run to Trinidad or outside of the Caribbean to live. You could stay at home, embark on a career in animation, and also generate reasonable income to live a good quality of life.
The industry is in its infant stages on the island, but it is seen as a viable option to help Tobago diversify its economy.
Some of the areas that we've identified, we need to drill down a little further. So we've taken two sectors, ICT and the creative industries, and merged those two to identify animation as a possible sector for development, right? So because animation is a global growing industry.
And with the global village, there's work for a lot of qualified individuals from this island.
Out of Japan, Korea, and so on, you have a lot of animation. And that is now flowing into the Caribbean, right? Because they outsource the work. So once the quality of the work is good, and the focus really is on the quality of the work, and the prices that are charged are reasonable, you put yourself in a position to attract animation work. And that is what we are seeking to target.
EIDCOT recently held a series of animation workshops to introduce people to this field. They are just parts of the company's thrust to develop new industries outside of the tourism sector. I'm Omadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
In 1985, the property was purchased by the homegrown steel fabrication company York Dynasty. The hotel got a facelift with its first major renovation in 1994 at the cost of $20 million. Now, while you think about that, listen to this. The Goodwood High School hosted a career fair to provide students with the opportunity to meet with their future employers. Crystal George has the details in this report.
Your income will equal your skills, not your bills. It's a message motivational speaker Michael Stewart shared with students at the career fair recently held at the Goodwood High School. The event was themed Career Determined Success. Mr. Stewart said everyone is blessed with a gift. Nurturing those abilities, he says, will bring them career success.
You are born with that which you need to exist. So your career is already inside of you. All you've got to do is find it, develop it, nurture it, and you shall become what you want to become.
The students are also being encouraged to identify the pursuits they're excited about. Developing those areas will help them find their calling.
What I would encourage you to do, find out what you're passionate about. What do I want to do? What am I good at? What am I interested in?
The students learn that having a skill is one way in becoming successful. Personal development is an important part of foregoing a career. Mr. Stewart advises that mastering your skills can make you a valid employer or entrepreneur.
No employer is going to employ you because you have bills to pay, because you have a mother who's ill and you've got to take care of her, because you have things to do and you have needs. No employer hires on that ground. They're hiring you for your skills. The marketplace pays for skills. And therefore, the more skills you have, the more successful you'll be.
The career fair is geared towards helping children to prepare for their future by understanding what avenues are available to them. I'm Crystal George for Let's Talk Tobago.
On the other side of the break, Fortas to share their initiatives. Don't move. Let's Talk Tobago. We'll be right back.
They say it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters the most. And in the face of disaster, chaos, and panic, It is the Tobago Emergency Management Agency's comprehensive emergency response plans that will matter most to Tobago. This agency's modernized approach to emergency management is driven by technology, powered by networking, focused on community resilience, open to partnering, enhanced through training, and led by a highly competent and dedicated staff. This has positioned them as one of the premier disaster management agencies in the region and earned them Trinidad and Tobago Diamond Standard certification. Congrats, TEMA, Tobago Emergency Management Agency.
Welcome back. We're exploring the Mount Irving Bay Resort. Now, although the property changed hands, the owners wanted to maintain its colonial look as reflected behind me. Now, this is one of the many areas used to facilitate small weddings. In our next story, the Friends of Tobago AIDS Society encouraged many to join them on a walk to help raise awareness for those living with HIV. Here are the details in this report.
Renew the call, strengthen the commitment, stamp out HIV. That was the theme of this year's annual Friends of Tobago AIDS Society Photos Walk. Over 500 people registered for the event, which is now in its 15th year. The initiative includes free HIV testing.
It's always encouraging to see persons who will still go and get tested, even, there's a lot of change in terms of persons really being willing to be tested. We've really seen that, and it's encouraging. It's part of our mandate to really encourage persons to go out and get tested and to realize there's nothing wrong with going to get tested, and there's nothing to be ashamed of, to just wanting to know your status. Living from a place of fear and ignorance is never going to help anyone. So it's really important that people know their status and also know that a diagnosis of HIV is not a death sentence.
Statistics from the World Health Organization indicate that 20% of the new infections for 2015 occurred in females ages 15 to 24 years old, while 14% of the new infections occurred in males of the same age range. Now, with the young adults in mind, FOTUS also hosts youth forums to engage them in discussions pertaining to HIV issues.
We really try to let them realize that a person who lives with HIV or who is affected, or even somebody who has a relative who has HIV, is not a person that you would discriminate against or try to avoid, and really target those ideas from a young age. So that's one of the main things that we really dealt with the youth, and it was also good to hear their perspective on certain behavioral changes that they would have to make. What their take is on having a lifestyle that really protects you from contracting HIV and AIDS.
The organization, which was started in 2002, helps people living with HIV and their families lead relatively normal lives. FOTUS also partners with other organizations, such as the Tobago House of Assembly, to carry out their outreach programs.
This year we partnered with Rotaract Tobago, and it was really refreshing to have another group, which is mainly young people, again, working with the Friends of Tobago AIDS Society for creating awareness in Tobago. And I think that it's important that our organization really not just tries to create awareness through a walk or through education, but really encourages other persons to work in the, vineyard of, the HIV and AIDS advocacy.
FOTUS plans to collaborate with the Oasis Foundation, another NGO that assists people living with HIV, in commemorating World AIDS Day on December 1st. I'm Amadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
The property still has the old sugar pots and other remains from the 18th century to maintain its historic value. And speaking of value, the Lambo Credit Union hosted its annual verse speaking competition to help students understand the value of money. Marlon Gottseben has this report.
Tobago is known for its rich oral traditions and storytelling. It's an island where children are introduced to spoken word from a tender age. The 22nd annual verse speaking competition finals hosted by Lambo Credit Union recently gave some young Tobagonians the chance to shine on stage and to flex their vocal cords. This program helps young students develop their verbal communication skills.
We at Lambo Credit Union believe now is the time to educate our young ones on the importance and the value of money, hence the theme surrounding this year's poems. We do hope that the poems are not just recited, but the true meaning of these words will have a lasting impact on the lives of all these children.
This year, the organizers wanted the 26 participants to understand the significance and value of money, so 6 kindergarten students recited on that theme. The other categories featured junior and senior primary schoolers.
Having money is something that I love. The richest person in the room is always me. I catch all of the money in my figurative glove. I can purchase any item, no matter the fee. The ladies love me for my money. I have nice, fancy cars. People treat me as sweet as honey. My future is as bright as the stars.
This young finalist also had a different take on the topic and the serious message.
It has come to my attention by the way of the news. Everybody is talking. Corporations are singing the blues. They don't have any money. They blew all they had. And now they're calling on our government because their management is quite bad.
Students participating in the semi-finals received tokens of appreciation for their efforts. I'm Marlon Gotsleben for Let's Talk Tobago.
Now there are many activities right here at the hotel to keep guests relaxed and occupied. They can take a cool stroll down to the beach, have a relaxing massage at the spa, or even dine right here at the restaurants. Our next story has details about a fun day that has all the residents of one community value good sportsmanship and camaraderie. Here are the details in this report.
Pembroke and Goodwood are quiet neighboring communities in East Tobago, but at times village rivalry can escalate into violence. So some Pembroke residents got together to channel their energies into friendlier forms of competition. That's how this 5-a-side small goal football tournament was born as part of a community fun day.
I felt that it was important to have the involvement of these teams coming together, one to form bonds and to show the younger ones that in my time we had camaraderie, good sporting camaraderie, and just enlightening the young men of the community to participate in sport meaningfully and to form and networking and to come together to, to advance themselves individually and of course as groups.
7 teams competed from Pembroke, Glamorgan, Goodwood and Belgarden. The day also included an all-fours competition. The event was endorsed by officials of the THA, in particular the Division of Community Development and Culture.
At the division, we always encourage communities to be proactive. And a number of communities throughout Tobago has done that in the past, and that is why we are offering our technical assistance and advice to them, working with them to ensure that they are sustained and they are developed.
With the positive energy from this fun day, residents are excited to have more social activities among their villages.
We have Todd Street, we have Congo Hill, we have Dr. Road. So those are the streets that want to compete against themselves. Notwithstanding, just before the Christmas season, we hope to have parang on the greens, pork parang on the greens. That is something that we are now promoting. So there are benefits, a lot of benefits came out of it. A matter of fact, they are waiting for the next event.
A cricket tournament is also being planned with the same spirit of friendly competition in mind. I'm Amadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
Coming up, Senior Citizens Computer Literacy Graduation. Don't go anywhere. Let's Talk Tobago will be right back.
Going to Barbados? Why continue to pay high prices when you can get there for only US $231.95, all taxes included? Yes, you heard right. You can now travel to Barbados from Tobago for a mere US $231.95 on Gold's weekly service. So if you're going to Barbados for business, the beach, crop over, or attending university, stop wasting your money on those other high-priced airlines and get there for a fraction of the cost. To book, just log on to www.vogel.com.br. Barbados just got closer.
In 1994, Mount Irving Bay Hotel and Golf Club was voted the Caribbean Gulf Resort by Life and Style Travel magazine in association with Travel Weekly magazine. Think about this. If you can imagine it, you can achieve it. The sky should always be the limit. The Tobago Library Services celebrated the achievements of the Senior Citizens Computer Literacy class. See what I mean in this next story.
You're never too old to learn. At least, that's the mindset of 46 senior citizens who recently completed the computer literacy course offered by Tobago Library Services. They collected their certificates at the end of the 6-week course, which was hosted at the Scarborough Library facility. The seniors are embracing the digital age. In fact, they're asking for more of a good thing.
Now we have the computer and we are now in the digital age. We also have to learn metric. All these things are changing. We can't allow ourselves to be left behind. We have to learn new things, and I'm hoping that we'll be able to get into a more deep study, bring a second part so that we can learn some more.
If all the teachers in Tobago, in our schools, were like these in the library, then we can say with confidence that no child will be left behind.
The participants learn how to use productivity applications such as Microsoft Word. Now they can send email, browse the World Wide Web, and use social media. The students are praising their tutors for their efforts and patience.
We will be eternally grateful for the knowledge you share with us. And with this knowledge, no longer will our grandkids have to do our research for us now. With continued practice, we are empowered to do it ourselves. The staff of this library, we thank you for accommodating us. The Division of Education, thank you for establishing and implementing this program. To all involved again, we say thank you.
The participants have been encouraged to continue learning, even now that they have graduated.
So I want you all to continue to use the computer. And the more you use it, the more confident you will become. So I am making this public commitment. Once the funds are available, indeed we will have our advanced classes. I thank you.
The program is becoming more popular with Tobago seniors who are making their best of their retirement. I'm Crystal George for Let's Talk Tobago.
In its heyday, this resort hosted some high-profile international golf tournaments, including the Johnny Walker and the Shell Wonderful World of Golf. These days, The Mount Irving Bay Resort is getting a new lease on life and currently being upgraded in an effort to restore its former glory. Now, believe it or not, policemen can cook too. This cookout competition strengthened the relationship with the public as people were able to see a softer, lighter side of the officers. Karen Freitas fills us in on the details.
No speed guns, no police cars, no tickets, just food. 24 teams battled for $5,000 cash and a trophy in the recent Policemen Can Cook 2 competition at the Police Academy in St. James. This included the Tobago Division, the Prisons Division, Traffic Wardens, and the Shagromas Development Unit. But the fundraiser isn't just about cooking. It's meant to foster camaraderie among police officers and a stronger relationship with the public. Tourism Minister Shamfa Kudjo served as a judge in this year's competition. She says the event encourages togetherness and gives the lawmen a chance to showcase their culinary talents. The minister says the competition lets the public see the softer, lighter side of the men behind the uniform.
People who you would have seen with a stiff face and a different kind of attitude and a different thing. Now you see a lighter side, a softer side that will draw you to the police and make you feel, hey, we are one and we can work together. We can come out and have fun together on a day like this and see the lighter side and the more exciting side of everyone.
One of the judges even took the time to explain how the winner was selected.
Every criteria presented is 20 points, right? Based on presentation, on taste, so it will be a percentage out of 20. Percentage out of 20 for presentation, percentage out of 20 for creativity, taste, and the use of the main ingredient. I really like the fact that they presented the meal with the line at the side, right? It tends to give it a better, more flavor at the end of the meal rather than trying to incorporate it during the cooking process, right? I like the presentation, identifying the use of local ingredients.
For the second straight year, the Tobago Division of the Police Service secured the winner's trophy and the cash prize. The proceeds from the fundraiser go to charity. I'm Kern Freitas for Let's Talk Tobago.
Now I have a question for you. In light of the new rebate for low electricity bills, how do you conserve energy? While you think about it, let's take a look at who had their say this week.
There are many ways that you can conserve energy. By turning off unnecessary lights in the house, okay? Taking off the plugs. Sometimes people leave their plugs in.
The bill is high and we can't capitalize on it because by all means, it is important to our lives. Because without electricity, we have nothing. We can't go back to the past.
My bills were 500 something, 400. But since I'm using the energy bulbs, my bill comes straight down to under $200.
Turn off your lights in the day that you're not using because some people leave their light on. So you turn off to conserve, and in the night at certain. In the night, you don't use all your lights. That lights that you don't need, you keep them off.
Turn off all unnecessary lights in the night. All appliances must be turned off by 6 o'clock.
In terms of conserving energy, minimize. If I'm in one room, I turn on the light there. When I leave the room, I switch off the light. So little things I try to do to ensure that I conserve energy as well as save some money in my pocket.
We close another edition of Let's Talk Tobago, and as always, we thank you for watching. Please email us with your comments or queries about the program, and be sure to visit our website, like us on Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. From our house to yours, I'm Davia Chambers, along with the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly, wishing you a safe and productive week. We close with a montage of the Teachers' Retirement and Appreciation Ceremony. We do hope you enjoy.
Among the stars, let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my In other words, baby, kiss me. Fill my heart with song and let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words,